Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for this last video tonight, and then I gotta go to sleep after this video, because I do need some rest. But pretty much this is for the Killers' greatest hits album, Rebel Diamonds, that I got a chance to listen to for myself to see what I was gonna think of this Killers Rebel Diamonds uh, greatest hits album that I wanted to review. That I was not gonna review, to be honest, and this is the last 2023 release that I will be reviewing for albums. So you won't be seeing any more album reviews after this one, because I know this was a new release for December 8th, but was a few days behind because I just basically wasn't sure if I wanted to review it or not. So basically I'm going to discuss from tracks 1 to 20 the 20 tracks that I'm going to be talking about and let you know my thoughts on this greatest hits album. So let's dive into this review. Now it starts with the older track from the Hot Fuss album. Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, and that was a solid track in my opinion. I don't know, just something about Brandon Flowers' vocals didn't intrigue me with this track. I know it's off the first album, which the first album I hear is really good. Um, I might have heard the first album, but it's been a while. So basically, 4.5 out of 5. Mr. Brightside is a pretty good song. I really like this track. I think Brandon Flowers' vocals sound really amazing in this song. It sounds very on point with the guitar work and drum work, and very well executed with the lyricism. So, 5 out of 5. All These Things That I've Done is a pretty strong track in my opinion. I really like this one. Brandon Flowers' vocals are pretty amazing. It is 5 minutes and a second, so it is a little lengthy of a song, but it definitely was an enjoyable one. So really dig this Killers track. So 5 out of 5. And comes the most popular song that the Killers have made, and Motionless in White did a cover track for this uh, song too, called Somebody Told Me, which I like the Motionless in White cover, but the original is pretty good. I went back and listened to this, and I still like the Killers' version too. It's pretty good. I mean, there's some moments where I think there were some sections that were not very well executed, but overall, it is an outstanding song. It is a classic from the Killers, and something you definitely got to check out. It's a recommended song to check out because it's one of their most popular tracks along with Mr. Brightside. So 5 out of 5. When We Were Young is a pretty good song. Another classic track from the Killers in my opinion. I overall thought that this song executed pretty well, and just the drum work, guitar work, Brandon Flowers' vocals sound really amazing, so this is a 5 out of 5. Read My Mind is solid. I don't know if I like this track in my honest opinion. It's just the way it sounds and how Brandon Flowers is singing it. There's some moments where it executes and moments where it doesn't, in my honest opinion. So this track is a 4.5 out of 5. Sorry, there's something in my mouth that was bothering me. I'll be dealing with it in a little bit. But Human is the next track, and that's off the Day and Age album. The last two songs I mentioned were on the uh, 2006 album. I forgot what the album's name was, but you'll have to remind me in the comment section below. Something with Sam or whatever. But basically, Day and Age was a favorite album of mine. I really like that album. Human is a favorite, so this is a 5 out of 5. Really liked it. I know there's electronic work in this song through majority of this track, and basically I think it's well executed with how it sounds. And Brandon Flowers' vocals are pretty outstanding, but his vocals get better and as time goes on for the next few albums. So basically 5 out of 5. Spaceman is a pretty catchy track. I mean, it sounds weird for a moment, but I think the Killers make it work with how this song sounds. So this is a 5 out of 5. Then comes A Dustland Fairy Tale. That's a pretty good track in my opinion. Really dig this track. Highly recommend you check this song out for yourself to see what you're gonna think of it. I mean, the music video is pretty interesting, and overall the track sounds really good with Brandon Flowers' vocals. And he's really trying with his vocals in this track, so this is a 5 out of 5. Then comes Be Still. It's off the Battleborn album, and it's a pretty good song. I really like this track with how it sounds. Wasn't sure if I was gonna like it or not, but the track overall grew on me. Sorry, I'm just making sure my teeth are okay. It's a long story. I don't want to go into debate on that. It's just I gotta go to a dentist again, so things have gotta happen, unfortunately. But pretty much 5 out of 5 for Be Still. I think it's a pretty good song, and I really like this track. Then comes Runaways, and that's a pretty good song. I like Brandon Flowers' vocals. It sounds very high-pitched. It sounds really well done with how he's singing it overall. And this is a very well-executed track, so this is a 5 out of 5 too. The Man was decent. It wasn't my favorite song off this Greatest Hits and off the Wonderful, Wonderful album. I thought at the time it was fine, but I've kind of outgrew this track a bit. I don't hate it, I just find it fairly decent. So this is not their best song, but it was more pop-friendly kind of stuff that they were going for with that track, so basically 4 out of 5. Then comes Caution, and that is a favorite song of mine off the Imploding the Mirage album. Do I like the Imploding the Mirage album? Not necessarily, but I think it's alright for what it went for. So this is a 5 out of 5 for Caution. My Own Soul's Warning is a pretty alright track. It's good in its own way. There are some moments where it takes a bit to catch up the track with how it sounds, but overall I think the track was alright. So 4.5 out of 5. Dying Breed is a solid track too. It's good in its own way, just has its weak moments with how Brandon Flowers is singing it. So this is a 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Pressure Machine. It says abridged, but I don't know why. It's weird. This is a really nice song. I really like this track, and Brandon Flowers' falsetto vocals sound really amazing in this song. So I really dig this song, even though it's very mellow. It still sounds really good. So 5 out of 5. Quiet Town Abridged is alright. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But it is off the Pressure Machine album, and that was one of their strongest albums in my opinion, so this is a 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Boy. This one was decent. I didn't hate this track, but it's one of the regular singles that they've made, but it's not their best single, but it's not their worst, so this is a 4 out of 5. Your Side of Town is okay. I thought this was not going to grow on me as much, but the electronic vocals with how produced Brandon Flowers' electronic vocal sound and the sound effects with his vocals are really iffy and don't make the song sound interesting. I mean, they were trying with this, but I think the electronics took over way too much with this track, so this was okay, but could have done better. So 3 out of 5. And finally, we get to Spirit, the closing track for this whole Greatest Hits album. This was one of the worst songs, in my opinion, to close this. It was disappointing in my opinion, and I reviewed this track like a day or so ago. Definitely go check out that track review for it, for Spirit, because I did not like that song. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good closing track for the album, for the Greatest Hits album, and very disappointed with this song. So, yeah, Brandon Flowers' rapping vocals or whatever the fuck he was doing did not sound great, and the electronics did take over way too much for this track. It relied on the electronic work in this song, and that's a shame. So, this is a 2.5 out of 5 overall production, mixing, and execution wise. I found myself liking maybe 17 songs. Well, 15 to or so songs at least, and the rest have its cringy moments. This is an okay listen. Do I hate this Rebel Diamonds Greatest Hits album? Not that much, but I don't necessarily love it, is what I meant to say. So, first score for me, I'm giving The Killers' Rebel Diamonds Greatest Hits review. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. It's kind of underwhelming a bit, but it just... Spirit really ruined the reception. I technically would have given it a 6 out of 10, but I was being generous enough because majority of the tracks were not too bad. For the first 3/4 of the album, the Greatest Hits album was fairly fine. The rest kind of go in its own route and a downgrade for kind of goes downhill a little bit towards the end of the Greatest Hits album. So the last 3 songs are iffy, okay, and very disappointing. So with that being said, 6.5 out of 10 for The Killers' Rebel Diamonds Greatest Hits album review. Hopefully you enjoyed this review tonight, and thanks for watching. Have a good night.